So Central Board of Direct Taxes, which has been constituted under the Central Board of Revenue Act 1963. Matters relating to consolidation or reduction exemption from payment of stamp duty under Indian Stamp Act 1899. The Commissioner can grant the approval for the order issued by the assessing officer. So we will be having the authority of approval. The Commissioner will be having the authority of approval. Hello everyone, I am Arun Kumar, lecturer in Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Dear students, welcome to this new session on unit number 6, session 1. That is the name of the unit, Income Tax Authorities. Yes, dear students, this particular unit is going to deal with to know about the authorities, that is income tax authorities. Overall, the people comes under income tax authority, what and all the duties they have, what and all the functions they are supposed to perform, what and all the rights they will be having. So about this we are going to discuss in this particular unit. So firstly, income tax authorities. So we all know what is income tax. It is a department where they collect the tax on income earned by individual person or by a company or by any business unit, right? It is the authority who collects the tax from the person who earns the income from business or from profession or from earning salary or from receiving rent. Whatever the income they are earning, they are supposed to pay tax to the government. So who take care of that? Income tax authority is going to take care. So in an income tax authority also we have different positions, right? So which are those different positions? First comes Central Board of Direct Taxes. So CBDT is the department what we will call. So Central Board of Direct Taxes, which has been constituted under the Central Board of Revenue Act 1963. So how this was formed, how CBDT was formed? CBDT was formed based on the Central Board of Revenue Act 1963. So under that, under Central Board of Direct Taxes, who will come next? Next will be Director General of Income Tax. So the second person will be Director General of Income Tax. Next, after Director General of Income Tax, who comes? It is Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. So the third party is, or the third person is Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. Under Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, who will next? It is Directors and Commissioners of Income Tax. After Chief Commissioner, next will be Directors and Commissioners of Income Tax. Under Directors and Commissioners of Income Tax, Additional Directors and Additional Commissioners of Income Tax. Under Directors and Commissioners, who will come next? Additional Directors and Additional Commissioners of Income Tax. Next, under Additional Commissioners and under Additional Directors, who is next? Next is Joint Directors and Joint Commissioners. Next is Joint Directors and Joint Commissioners. Next, under these parties, who will come? Deputy Director and Deputy Commissioner of Income Tax. Deputy Director and Deputy Commissioner of Income Tax. Under this party, next who will come? Assistant Director and Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax. Assistant Director and Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax. Under them, next Income Tax Officers. Who will comes? Income Tax Officers. Under Income Tax Officers, who will come next? Next is Income Tax Inspectors. Income Tax Inspectors. So this is the flow of income tax authorities. The first person will be the Central Board of Direct Taxes. Under Central Board of Direct Taxes, we will be having Director General of Income Tax. Next, we will be having Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. Next, Directors and Commissioners of Income Tax. Next, Additional Directors and Additional Commissioners of Income Tax. Next, Joint Director and Joint Commissioners of Income Tax. Deputy Directors and Deputy Commissioners of Income Tax. Assistant Directors and Assistant Commissioners of Income Tax. Next, Income Tax Officer and Income Tax Inspector. This is the flow of income tax authorities. Moving further, functions of tax authorities. So what and all the functions we will be having under tax authorities. So what and all the functions they are supposed to perform? As a tax authority. So first function is what? The first function is all matters relating to levy and collection of direct taxes. So the main function of income tax officer or the director or the commissioner of income tax is what? Is to deal with all the matters, with respect to levy and collection of direct taxes. If there is any issue with respect to levy of tax, then these authorities are supposed to take care. And if there is any person is not paying the tax, if there is any mischievous things is happening in the department or in the society with respect to tax department, then those people are supposed to take care. Who? The tax authorities. Next, all matters relating to levy and collection of indirect taxes. Yes, they're also supposed to take care of all the matters which are relating to indirect taxes. Next, investigation into economic offenses and enforcement of economic laws. Yes, if there is any illegal things are happening with respect to the economy, with respect to paying of tax or earning of income, then who is liable to take care of it? Yes, obviously it is income tax authorities who is supposed to take care of it. Next, prevention and combating abuse of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances and illicit traffic therein. Yes, if there is any this kind of activities are happening, is this kind of illegal activities are happening, okay, like drugs and narcotic drugs and all, then these people, the income tax authority is supposed to take care. So tax authority will be having all the rights to take a charge or to take a decision with respect to this illegal activities. Next, enforcement of FEMA and recommendation of detention under COFEPOSA. Yes, so here the authority will be having all the rights in enforcement of FEMA and recommendation detention under COFEPOSA. Yes. Next, moving further, work relating to forfeiture of property under smugglers and foreign exchange manipulators, that is Forfeiture of Property Act 1976 and Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. So they'll have the right. So they are supposed to perform the function of acquiring the property of the people who are doing smuggling and the people who are into any narcotic drugs activities, illegal drugs activities. Next, levy of taxes on sales in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Yes, levy of taxes is also a function of the tax authorities. Next, matters relating to consolidation or reduction, exemption from payment of stamp duty under Indian Stamp Act 1899. Yes, matters relating to consolidation, reduction or exemption from stamp duty, payment of stamp duty. If there is any confusion with respect to payment of stamp duty, if there is any stand is supposed to be taken with respect to payment of stamp duty, who will be having the right? The tax authority. Next, residential work of gold control. Yes, residual work of gold control. So these are all the functions of tax authorities. Moving further, the powers of the income tax authorities. The powers of income tax authorities. So what and all the powers they will be having as an authority? The first power is collection of information. Yes, they are having the power of collecting the information with respect to any individual person. If they want to know about any individual person, they have all the rights to collect the information about that particular person. What is the income he is earning? What is the total income of that person? From what source is earning the income? To know about this all, they'll be having the right. So that is the first power, that is collection of information. Next, power of survey. Yes, they'll be having the power of survey with respect to any business organization, any company or any individual person. No one will be having the right to stop the income tax authorities from doing the survey. Next, power to call for information. Yes, they'll be having the right or the power to call for any authorities, for any organizations. They'll be having the power to call any authority, any organizations, any business entity to collect the information about any person. So if they want to collect the information, they can call anyone and they can inquire about the required information from any authorities. Next one, power to possess book of accounts. Yes, they'll be having the power to possess the book of accounts of any business entity or of any individual person. So if they want your company's books of accounts, you are supposed to give the books of accounts. You can't deny. You can't say no, because they'll be having the full authority. They'll be having the full power to collect and to see your books of accounts. Next, power of search and seizure. Yes, they will be having the full power to search your house, search your business entity, or search your belongings. They'll be having the full authority to search your personal house or your business entity or whatever. So they'll be having that power. Next, power related to discover and produce evidences. Yes, they'll be having the power to discover and produce evidences in front of the court or in front of the particular respected authority or in front of the government. So these are all the powers the income tax authority will be having, and no other people will be having the right to question the tax authority. So all these powers have been given to and let the tax department benefit maximum from the direct tax payers. Yes, so these all powers are given to the authority to benefit them and to collect more tax or to increase the revenue of the government. And with respect to Director General or Director, what and all the functions and what are all the rights he will be having, what and all the powers he will be having. So the Director General or Director appointed by central government. Yes, the Director of Tax Authority will be appointed by the central government, are required to perform such functions as may be assigned by the central government, are required to perform such functions as may be assigned by the central government of direct taxes. This position enjoys the following powers and different provisions of the Act. So the Director General or the Director will be appointed by the central government, and they are supposed to work accordingly. Whatever the instructions given by the central government, based on the instruction of the central government, the Director or the Director General of Tax Authority is supposed to work. So you will be having the power to give instructions to the income tax officers. As a Director General of Income Tax Authority, you will be having the power to give instructions to the income tax authorities, and you will be having the power to inquire or investigate into concealment. You will be having the right or power to inquire or investigate into concealment, and to search and seizure. Yes, as a director, you will be having the right to search and seize any properties of any person. Next, to requisite books of accounts. Yes, you will be having the right to request for books of accounts of any individual person or any business entity, and you will be having the rights to survey the property of any person, and you will be having the power to make any enquiry. Yes, if you want to make enquiry about any person or about any business entity, you will be having the power to make an enquiry about any individual person or any organization. Next one is Commissioner of Income Tax. Commissioners are appointed by the central government. Generally, they are appointed to head income tax administration of a specified area. As the head of administration, a Commissioner of Income Tax enjoys certain administrative as well as judicial powers. Yes, these commissioners, the commissioners of income tax authority, will be appointed by the central government, and they will be appointed for a particular area to administrate all the activities happening in that particular area. For example, Mysuru, Bangalore, Gulbarga. So for each district or for each state, there will be a commissioner. So what is the function of the particular commissioner? His function is to regulate the activities which are happening in the department. Next, a commissioner may exercise powers of an assessing officer. It has the power to transfer any case from one or more assessing officers to any other assessing officers. Yes, as a commissioner, he will be having the power to transfer the case from one assessing officer to another assessing officer. If the one assessing officer is doing that case, if he is handling that particular case, the commissioner can transfer that particular case to someone else, to some other assessing officer. Next, it can grant approval for an order issued by the assessing officer. Yes, the commissioner can grant the approval for the order issued by the assessing officer. So we will be having the authority of approval, the commissioner will be having the authority of approval. Next, prior approval is required for reopening of an assessment. Yes, so if the assessing officer wants to reassess the particular assessment of a particular person, then approval is required. The approval will be given by the commissioner of income tax. Next, it also has the power to revise an order passed by an assessing officer. Yes, the commissioner will be having the power to revise the order passed by the assessing officer, in addition to any other powers given to the Income Tax Act 1961. So these are all the functions or the powers of Commissioner of Income Tax. Next one, Joint Commissioners. So what is the functions and powers? Joint Commissioner are appointed by central government. Again, the main function of the authority is to detect tax evasion. That means if any person is escaping from tax, they are supposed to identify those kind of persons and they have to impose the tax and supervise subordinate officers. Yes, Joint Commissioner function is also to supervise the subordinate officers like income tax officers. Under the different provisions of the Act, the Joint Commissioners enjoys the power to accord approval to adopt fair market value as full consideration and instruct income tax officers, exercise powers of income tax officers, the powers to call information and to inspect registers of companies to make any enquiry among other powers. So here the commissioner, the joint commissioner will be having the power to supervise the subordinate officers. So under the commissioner there will be assistant commissioners and the income tax of officers and other authorities. So the joint commissioner will be having all the rights to have a hold on those subordinates, and he will be also having the right to decide the fair market value. You will be having the right to decide the fair market value of a particular property or a particular building, and you will be having the power of to call for information. You will be having the power of to call for information. That means if you want any information, you call for any organizations or for any person to collect the information and to inspect registers of companies. So if you want to inspect the registers or the books of accounts of any companies, the joint commissioner will be having the right to inspect those books of the company. Next one, income tax officers. Income tax officers. So here, while income tax officers of class 1 services are appointed by central government, income tax officers of class 2 services are appointed by commissioners of income tax. Yes. So income tax officers in class 1 income tax officers are appointed by central government, and class 2 income tax officers are appointed by income tax commissioners. Next, the power and functions on duties of income tax officers. Power, duties and functions of income tax officers are provided in many sections, some of which are power of search and seize. Yes, the income tax officer will be having the power to search and seize any person's property, and he will be having the power of assessment. Yes, he will be having the power of assessing any person's property, any company's property. Next, he will be having the power to call for information. As an income tax officer, he will be having the power to call for any person and to collect the information about the particular person. Next, power of survey. Yes, you will be also having the power of surveying. So these are all the functions of income tax officer. Next, inspector of income tax. Inspector of income tax. So they are appointed by the commissioner of income tax. The inspectors are appointed by commissioner of income tax, and inspectors of income tax have to perform such functions as are assigned them by the commissioners or any other authority under whom they are appointed to work. Yes, here the inspectors of income tax authority are appointed by the commissioners. They are going to perform the duty based upon what kind of work will be assigned by the commissioner or by the authority under whom they are working. So these are all the functions of income tax inspector. So in this session, dear students, we discussed about what is tax authority and the flow of tax authorities, who will be the first and who will be the last, and the functions of tax authorities, and also we discussed about the powers and duties of different tax authorities like joint commissioner or commissioner or the director general or the inspector or the income tax officer. So in this session we fully discussed about the income tax authorities. So I hope all of you understood. So we'll meet in the upcoming session. Until then, thank you all. Have a nice day.